Okay, so just to move on to the actual animation and blend states. So that was the rapidly disappearing list, was a list of all the animations you're going to need. So if you look at the second mouse here, I just wanted to show you from Mixamo that we're using this this character here. So that's what we're using for the some of the animations. So we're just going to set up a blend space. We're going to set up a blend space called ELF, which will probably become confusing at some point due to the fact half of it is called link and half of it is called ELF, but let's go with it. So blend space is where we're going to set up all the transitions between the character movements. So we can see here that we have the character. I'm just looking for some settings. So let's name the horizontal axis direction and the vertical axis speed, and this basically will tie in with the variables we previously set up, which are now shown down in the graph. So maximum axis value, by the graph I mean this, direction and speed. So maximum axis 180 and vertical axis maximum axis value 200. So horizontal is minus 180 to 180 and vertical is 0 to 200. So the little green dot on the graph is to preview the movement. So what I'm doing is I'm just dragging in, if we look at the three horizontal bars, I'm dragging in we're moving from the middle walk to the left strafe and right strafe, and then we want to put it walking backwards at the 0 point and the 180 point of the direction. So the character is moving from walking forward to walking backwards via strafe left and right, if you understand what me is getting at. So I need to replicate these on the top of the graph as well, so that you're still getting those animations, but they are basically at the top speed. So it's running the animations from the lowest speed, which is 0, through to the top speed, which is 200. So that means obviously when you're moving your controller, it will increase dependent, we can see by moving the green preview around. So I think the animations might be a bit weird because obviously I'm choosing my own animations. I'm not quite sure whether the left strafe and the right strafe are correct. They possibly should just be left and right, but we'll stick with it because that is the kind of crazy dude that I am. Okay, so that's going backwards. Okay, yeah, and that just shows the graph with regards to the variations between the speed and the animation. Okay, so I'm going to make a new blend space. I'm going to call it ELF blend space, again to confuse myself. I'm going to denote it with a BS, which may have connotations, but in this case stands for blend space. So I'm going to start with a jog and a walk. I'm copying that, so I'm double clicking on the jog, and what I'm doing here is I'm just taking the values out of the walk, and I'm just adjusting them for the jog. So that's going to become 375 instead of 200 for the vertical axis. Okay, so the speed it can go up to 375. So this all ties in with our character movement graphs, event graphs for our character, animation graphs for our character. So all I'm doing here is replacing the animations with the run animations, so that it will transition between them depending on speed, but we are going to look at the actual transitions in a moment. So we need to tell the game or the controller or Unreal when we are moving between various modes. Okay, so I think here I'm just trying to find another animation. Okay. So left strafe and right strafe running version. So I'm just dragging those in. Again, I'm not entirely sure that they are supposed to be strafes, but we shall see the proof of the pudding and all that. So again, within the blend space for jogs, all I'm doing is making sure all the animations are jog based. Can you jog backwards? Probably can jog backwards. We'll soon find out. Okay. Yep, jogging backwards. Marvellous. Somewhere in between, strafing right and jogging backwards. Okay, so save all of that, and then what we're going to do is we are going to go over to the back over to the jog, and then we're going to make another blend space, this time for crouch, I believe. So same thing again, so without boring you to death, it's effectively just me replacing all of the crouch animations, so that there's a strafe left and right and there's a crouch backwards. Okay. So I think I just brought in those animations and then we just apply them. So again, I'm pretty sure that the list I gave at the start of the video is quite comprehensive, but you may need to drag in, you may need to download a few more from Mixamo depending on what you're looking for, and obviously you don't need to particularly follow this moveset, although as a learning exercise I would guess that you probably do want to, otherwise doing it on your own may make your mind snap. So I should point out, obviously, as well as I have previously pointed out, this is working from the official Unreal documentation. There's a few little updates that are required for 4.24. Okay, so now crouch walking, and if we hold shift we can get the green pin back, and then we can see the transitions. Okay, so that's that.